blue. She said, I'm gonna love you. You damn sure gonna love me too. You don't have to be the best in town. Just try to be the best. Look at here. Come around. Hello. Oh my God, it's been so long since I've done this. I must have forgot some stuff here. So let me know if you can see everything and hear everything, because I'm sure something's not not on or working properly. Yeah, it's been a while. I just got back this week from some vacation time, and yeah, I just figured I'd jump on, get back into the swing of things as far as live streaming goes, because it's been a while since I even did a video. So I had about a half an hour, maybe an hour to kill here this afternoon, and figured jump on, see who's on, see who wants to chat, go over a few little things. I'll be getting back to regular schedule on Monday. My Monday night show is at 7 o'clock, and then I'll go into a whole lot more detail about what's been happening the last couple of weeks and some exciting stuff. And, well, exciting to me. I don't know. Maybe it's exciting to you too. I don't know. But we'll see. See, we got Harmony in the house. How are you doing, Harmony? Nice to see you. And Janice is in the house as well. So, yeah, I don't know how many people are going to jump on here, because this was a very much last minute type of thing. I just scheduled an event and I went live. So let me just move this a little bit so I can see it a little better. Just using my iPad to see the chat. So shared on my community page. Awesome. Yeah, so give me a indication if everything sounded okay as far as the jam track and the guitar, as far, well, not the guitar playing, but the mix, let's say. Make sure that that's coming through okay. I hope everybody had a good couple of weeks. Summer is it's coming to, well, it's not an end yet, but it's getting there. I can't believe how fast we've gone since we started summer back in, well, we had a kind of a late start to our summer here up in Ontario. We had some crappy weather until pretty much June. So it's only been a couple of months of really good weather. So it seems to have gone by pretty quickly. But hey, we're enjoying it while we can, while we have it. And as far as the music stuff goes, I've done a lot of work this summer as well, recording some of the tracks for the release that I want to do by the end of the year anyway. I'd like to have it done. And whether that'll be an EP or a full album, yet to be determined. I did record over 15 songs, but I've only picked 4 that I really, really want to go with. That's the thing, when you're recording your stuff, you can record a lot of content and a lot of songs, but it's best to really weed it down to your very, very best, the stuff that really you connect with. And not to say the other stuff isn't, I'm not connecting with it, but there was really 4 songs that I really seemed to kind of jive with. So I'm going with those, and then I've got to come up with maybe another 4 for a total of 8 to kind of round off everything and have something released by the end of the year. That's the goal anyway. So it's nice to have goals. If you have any questions or anything, post them in here. Let me just double check my system, make sure we are still going good. Yeah, it looks like everything's coming across. Hopefully it is. Like I said, when it's been a while and you haven't, I haven't even turned on the studio as far as the video stuff and everything since I've gotten back. So I figured, gotta jump back in it. Been watching a lot of shows while I was away. I still caught some shows and some live streams and so forth. So I've seen some of you guys in the chats and tried to keep engaged and keep participating as much as I could while I was away. The nice thing about being in New Brunswick is where I was on my vacation. Most of my family's still in New Brunswick, so that's where I went. Hey, Lars Guitars, how's it going? And the nice thing about over there, especially in the area that I was at, they have fiber internet, which is insane how fast it is and how cheap compared to what I pay here for really crappy internet, because I'm out in the country here in Ontario and they haven't run high-speed lines or anything up here, so we're really struggling with speeds and so forth. But when I went to my sister's house, they were on fiber and they were getting something like 520 megs download and 400 and something upload, which was, I can't even believe that. I mean, we could stream anything at the 4K even, and it was no issue at all. And I can't imagine if I was streaming from there, I could stream at 1080p no problem and have tons of bandwidth left over to do all kinds of things with. So that was kind of nice. But now I'm back to my home in Ontario, which I have to deal with my crappy internet until they run the high speed lines up in this area, which they are planning to do. But how that stuff sometimes goes. It can be a year, it can be 2 years before they even get their stuff together. They got the money from the government and everything to do the infrastructure, but they seem to be taking their time. Let's see, we've got Rick Hefner. How's it going, Rick? Double check that system. Double check what system? Yes, I had a pretty good vacation. Short, it went by fast. Hey, Ben Coombs, how's it going? Yeah, the vacation was really good. We had good weather most of the time. I think we only had a couple of days of rain, which wasn't a big deal. We always found stuff to do. It was more like visiting family and, going out to the nature. And New Brunswick has a lot of trails and nature. And it was nice to get out, from the hustle and bustle of the city. Even though I live out in the country, I still have to go into the city quite often to work, basically. So you're still dealing with a lot of traffic. And that's the one thing. When I drove back here we got back on Monday, and man, as soon as you hit the city limits, it's insane the amount of traffic and stuff. When you've been away for a week or more and you've seen, very minimal as far as traffic and congestions and people, like where I'm from, the little town that I'm from had maybe 7,000 people there, so you never see traffic jams or anything. And then you spend a week in that environment, and then you jump back into the big city, and it's like, man, what am I doing? Sometimes you start to question it, but that's the way it goes. R2, what's going on, R2? I really loved the show that you did with the boys doing the live wires show. That was awesome. I really like that show. I think they're doing a great thing over there with that format. So, and it was nice to see you as a guest on there. So awesome. Wanted to give a big thumbs up. Thank you very much, R2. Let's say, Rick Hefner, you said you were going to double check your system when I came into the chat. Oh, sorry, Rick. Like I said, it's been a while, man. So I'm still trying to get everything back organized. And I haven't even turned on a camera as far as the studio here goes for the last 2 weeks. So, and I'm getting back on regular schedule starting Monday. And I'll have a bunch of news for you more on Monday. Was just a last minute type of put together this little stream here and do a little chatting with you folks for an hour, and then making sure the systems and everything still works, which they seem to be working okay. Guitar sounds okay. So that's going through the Helix again, as most of you know. I did buy, I was going to talk more about that on Monday, but that's not a big deal. The Helix Stomp when I was away, just for the simple fact I wanted a travel kind of rig so that I can bring with me when I go on vacation or something. And that thing's really cool. It's amazing. I don't know if I'll end up keeping it. I bought it from Long McQuaid here. It's a big music store. And I bought it in New Brunswick at the store they had there. And the only reason I'm not sure if I want to keep it is just I need money for other things. Something big is coming soon, so I need to get ready for that. And I'm not planning to do much more travel the rest of the year. So, and the Helix, I'm always using my Helix here in the studio, so it's not like I'll have the Stomp for any usage while I'm here. So I might return it because you get 30 days to return it. So I might return it next week just to get that money back, because it is a little pricey, I find. In Canada, it's $7.99 plus tax for that unit. Not saying that it's not worth it, because it's really, really cool. It does some amazing stuff and it sounds great. But like, again, if you've got a regular size Helix and that's what you use most of the time, I'm not sure I can justify that cost. But it was nice to have while I was on vacation. And maybe, like I said, I'm not planning to do much travel from now until Christmas anyway. So maybe by the time Christmas comes around, they might have some specials, or they might even have a new unit come out or something, or I could find a used one and I might buy one there, because I do want one to have when I travel. But like I said, there's something big coming here, and I need to get the finances and everything figured out. And I sold my my Les Paul traditional. I had a 2018 traditional, and I did sell that. I sold that on, what day did I sell that? Just as soon as I got back from vacation, I got a message in my Kijiji saying there was a guy that was interested. So I met up with him on Tuesday, and he bought it on the spot. So, and I got a message today for a guy looking to buy my SG, because that was the other guitar I had on the marketplace. And I'll be meeting up with him sometime tomorrow or Sunday. So I think that guitar might be gone as well. So I will have 1, 2, 3. I have this, the R9, of course. I have my SMEER Telecaster and my Friedman Vintage S and my Ernie Ball bass, and maybe something else. We'll have to wait and see on Monday. But those will be the only guitars that I'll have left, and that's all pretty much I'll be set for a while. I'm just in joking mood today. Got off work early with full pay. That's nice. I gotta love that. Get off work early and get full pay for that. I'll take that every day. So yeah, coming back to the vacation thing, it's a big culture shock when you live or spend time away from the big city, and you kind of get in that groove of a little bit more easygoing type of lifestyle, not very much traffic, everything's a slower pace, and then you get back here and you got to get back in the swing of things, and you hit those traffic. Like, Toronto is crazy for traffic right now, a lot of construction and so many people. So it's a little bit of a shock to the system. So I'm not looking forward to Monday morning having to travel into the city, because I am going to the studio that I work at in the city on Monday. So that means traveling. But I'm fortunate that I do get to work from home from time to time. Well, at least once or twice a week. So that limits my travel time. And but I was thinking, someday would I want to move back to New Brunswick, just because it's just a little bit slower lifestyle, and when I'm ready to retire or semi-retire or something like that, maybe that'd be cool to do. Plus, the property and stuff over there is insanely cheap compared to what we pay here. Like the house that I'm living in here, down there would be, less than half of what I paid here in Ontario. So it's quite jarring that way. But the thing is, if you're going to buy in that market, you better plan to stay there, because trying to sell in that market, it can take a while, and you're not going to usually break even. You're not going to make a lot of money because the market doesn't move that fast in those communities. Let me go back to the chat, see what's going on. See if I missed anybody. Upside Down, what's going on, brother? God bless America. Absolutely. That's with the, I've been using that Rev amp in the Helix since it came out, and it's quite amazing. I really like it a lot. I've been able to tweak it. Just before I left for vacation, I did a live stream kind of going over some of the new updates on the Helix, because I didn't have time to go over it on the Monday night show before I left, so I really wanted to get a chance to show you some stuff with that, and I showed the Rev amp. And the other thing that I've been using is they've got a couple new EQs that have come out with that update to the Helix, and one of them is called the Tilt EQ, and it's only got a few parameters, but it's really easy to adjust. So if you're getting a little bit too much high end on a high gain amp or something, it's easy to tone that back without going through a bunch of parameters and so forth. So I've been really liking the new update. It's been working out really well. Just make sure if you got a question or anything or something for me, just make sure you tag me, because I'm using my iPad here and it's quite small, the text. And I had a birthday this week, if some of you don't know. So I did turn 50. So I guess as you get older, your eyesight isn't what it used to be, and I'm noticing that now. So so tag me in the chat, that way it'll come up in big and red kind of letter, and I'll be able to address your question or your comment. Well, thank you. God bless America. Happy belated birthday, he says. Well, thank you very much. That's much appreciated. That was on, when was my birthday? Good Lord, it was on Tuesday, August 13th. Yeah, I turned 13 years old on August 13th, and it was a Friday the 13th. That was kind of weird, but nothing happened. I made it through. Right? Everybody was freaked out about that, but I wasn't. There we go. I'm sorry about the mic noise. Still trying to adjust that. Thanks, Upside Down. Much appreciated. Rick, thank you very much. Yeah, and then everybody's been asking about, well, did you get something for your birthday? What did you get? Did you get a guitar? All that stuff. So I got a few things, but let's wait till Monday to discuss some of that stuff, because I will have something to show you as well on Monday at 7 o'clock Monday night. So let's keep it for that. So yeah, I did get something. Let's put it that way. And I'm quite happy with it. 50. Wish I was that young. God bless America. Really? I feel like I wish I was 27. But that ain't going to happen. But I don't feel bad. And you know what? Since some of you know that I've been doing this diet since this new diet thing, because I was having some issues with my stomach, and I had this throat condition that caused me to choke on food for no reason at all. It would just, my throat would close up it had a reaction to certain foods and so forth. So I had to really do something about that. So just over a year ago, July 8th, to be precise, I went on this new diet, this keto diet. And I lost like 55 pounds, and it solved all my issues as far as my stomach and this throat condition, a lot of the inflammation in my body as far as like joint pain and so forth. That's all gone. And but you know, I really jumped into the diet full bore. Like the first couple of months, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy. You know, when you cut out that much out of your diet, like sugar and so forth, when you've been living on a certain diet all your life, and then you kind of really readjust, your body and your brain kind of has to go through a little bit of a reboot to adjust to it so that you don't get those cravings, you don't get headaches, you don't get dizzy and so forth. So the first few months you go through some of that stuff. But after that, man, when I saw the results that were happening, it wasn't hard at all. And by the third month, your brain kind of readjust itself to not crave those things like sugar and so forth. So, and I've hung on since then, and that's made a big difference. So what am I getting at is, now that I'm 50, you know, following that diet, I think has helped me. As I get older, it'll only help me a little bit more, so that, you know, I'm still going to have issues probably just like everybody else. As far as when you get older, your body starts to wear down, and I haven't been kind to my body as far as, you know, I've raced motorcycles, I've played music most of my life on stages, you know, doing the metal stuff. And, you know, I played bass all my life, so I've always had a heavy instrument on me, you know, 8x10s behind me blowing tons of air and decibels. And, you know, in the motorcycle racing, obviously it was motocross, so that was really hard on my body and so forth. So I have to really look ahead and say, well, you know, what can I do to have, you know, I'm not going to live forever, but as long as I live, I'd like to have it some sort of quality and without so many issues. And this diet was part of that plan, and it's been quite remarkable what it's done. So I would say to anybody that's going through any issues of that nature as you get older is, don't be afraid to try that stuff, even though it does, you know, seem intimidating or hard when you start to think about things you can't have or how you have to go about doing things moving forward. But it's totally worth it. And it's not that hard after your body adjusts and you start to lose all these cravings and so forth. And when you start to see the results, it's really motivating. So, but enough of that. Let's get back to our chat here. Let's see. Ben says, I'm going to move this thing a little closer because this mic stand is getting in the way. There we go. All right, that's better. Glad you're back. Your Monday show, since you do news segments. I won't have to keep an eye on the news. Yeah, really. It's good that you do, because I don't get all the news items. I just kind of pick out a few things that come up on the radar. I had neck surgery that year. Yeah, and that's one thing with I'm having issues with my neck right now. That's the only thing right now that I'd say, if there was one thing that I would complain about my health or anything like that, it's that, because I have a pinched nerve in my neck. I had an MRI done in November, and that was what they determined was the cause of some of this pain that I'm having. And it's because of my posture, and, you know, I've worked on computers, like on a computer for many, many years now. So I'm sure that, you know, over time that's happened, but it's a pinched nerve. And they say, you know, I do exercises and so forth, and at some point it's going to go away. If it doesn't, then they need to go in and do a surgical procedure to relieve the pressure on the nerve. So I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. Has it gotten better in the last year and a half or 2 years that I've had this issue? I would say a little bit. Some days are worse than others. So I'm trying to stay away from anything surgical, let's put it that way. But that's the only thing. And it's aggravating, because sometimes you're just sitting there and you're feeling that pain. And yeah, that can be a little bit of a pain in the neck, to be quite literal. But yeah, I feel you, man. If you have to have surgery or anything like that, it's not fun. First time under the knife, that wasn't an attempted robbery. Yeah. And and most of you know, as far as people who follow me, I'm not a big fan of needles, and I don't do well with them. So anything I can do to avoid anything medical or surgical or anything of that nature, I will always go that route, because I've had when they had to go down and do a scope for the throat, they had to put me under for that. And that was back, well, just over a year now, I guess. Yeah, it'll be almost 2 years since they've done that. But when they do that, they put an IV in your hand here, and then they, send you off to the waiting room, and you wait, and then they call you in and they put you out. But just that IV going into my hand freaked me right out, and they had to, put me on a bed or whatever until they were ready for me, and because I got all completely white, almost fainted, and that wasn't. It doesn't hurt. It's just it freaks me out. So when I can avoid it, I do. I love that shirt. Yeah, I got this. This is basically, and it's kind of weird because I'm the opposite of what the shirt says because I'm all digital now. But this is something I picked up at one of the conferences I was at, an audio video conference. But I thought it was pretty cool. So thank you. Bam! How's it going, Bam? See, I streamed a little early just for you because I know that you are in that time zone that you're always up late. So I figured give you a break, right? Do the surgery. It was a breeze. I felt. Yeah, well, I think if this continues the way it is and it doesn't seem to improve in the next couple of months, I might have to do that. So. But fingers crossed that it does, because it has gotten better since, it was way worse a year ago. So it's gotten better. So I'm hoping that, something moves and it fixes itself. But who knows? I'm not a doctor. Ben's not a fan of needles either. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that. What's going on? Butterfly and Ladybug Show. So I'm assuming that is Sandra Lee. Hope you're doing well. Hope Eric's doing well. I saw the new rebranding of the channel and the shows and stuff. That's awesome. I think that was a good move too, because like Eric said, it's not just covering EVH stuff, it's covering everything, right? So that, I think that will do, you'll do well with that. So looking forward to the content and all the shows moving forward. So I'm sure you guys will do a great job at that. Let's see. God Bless America says, I had 2 discs that were destroyed. Pinched nerves, numb fingers, recovery took about 3 weeks. Okay. Well, I don't have that bad. I don't have any 2 discs or anything. I just got that pinched nerve. So hopefully it would be a lot less of an issue than what you had. We'll have to wait and see. And I missed the start. Don't worry, it wasn't a big deal. I just needed to turn everything on and go live because I hadn't done it in a couple of weeks, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was still working or I didn't forget any of the steps, because when you get into this type of environment, there's a lot of moving parts as far as cameras and audio and mixer and mics and guitar and Helix and all this stuff is happening, and, lights and so forth. So when you haven't turned on everything in the studio for a few weeks and you haven't really, got everything configured, you want to make sure it stayed the same as the last time, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes you load up the software and it's lost settings, and now you've got to go through the process. I've had that happen a few times before. So, but it was fine. This time it was pretty cool. It was a couple buttons and everything was back to normal as far as that goes. So I'm happy about that. But you didn't miss that much. So it was just a. Phil Mosley. I have a pint of blood drained once a month, and sometimes don't hit the vein. Oh my God, Rick, really? Yeah, that would be my nightmare. Good Lord. Well, hope you're doing better with all that, and that it's not too crazy on you. So that's the rev amp, and I've got it set pretty crunchy right now, but I do have a couple other settings on there where they're just more, lower gain, but you can use that amp for so many things. It's pretty cool. You have a YouTube channel. Yeah, you're on it. God bless America. You are on the Six String Brian YouTube channel. Dale Palmer. So yeah, I had a couple of days. Well, I go back to work on Monday, so we got back from New Brunswick on Monday of this week, and I had the rest of the week off for the rest of my vacation. My wife had to go back to work on Wednesday, which is why we came home from New Brunswick a little earlier. So it gave me a chance to get some stuff done around the house, and I went out on the motorcycle. I was out actually this afternoon for a bit, enjoying the good weather and enjoying the last few hours of the vacation. And then I get back home, and I've got 2 OPP cops in my driveway, 2 SUVs. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Is somebody in my house or whatever? So then I pull up, and the lady says, oh, there's a cow loose. There's a cow. Like, I have cows next to my house. There's a field, the farmer owns it or whatever, and there's a big gate like next to my house, and the cows come up to the gate, and they just want attention, or I don't know what they want. But anyway, I used to give them grass, like not grass that you smoke, but grass from the lawn. When I used to cut it, I used to bag it, and I had a bagger system on my tractor, and I would just throw it over the fence, and they would go crazy on it. Well, this year I don't do that. I just changed it to a different system, and I don't use the bagger anymore. But anyway, the cows still come up to the fence, and the fence is pretty old, and it's kind of wobbly. And I told the farmer, you need to replace that, because someday, you're just going to have a mess on your hands. So regardless, I get home from my ride this afternoon and pull up to the driveway, and there's a freaking cow running around my house. And these 2 cops are running after it because they don't want it to go out in the street, because the street in front here, it's kind of has hills and so forth. So if a cow goes out on the road and a car comes up that hill and comes around it, and you're clicking 80 kilometers an hour or whatever, you don't have a lot of time to react to a cow standing in the road. So they were quite concerned about that. So I think they've got it wrangled now, and they've put it back into the field, and they call the farmer who's I guess going to have to fix the fence. I've told them a bunch of times. It's happened a few other times in other parts of the road and stuff where they've gotten out. But on my property, it happened again last year, and they fixed it. Well, they patched the fence. They didn't really fix it. But anyway, so now they're going to have to fix it, because I was talking with the cop back out there in my yard while they were trying to wrangle this cow, and she was saying if somebody gets hurt or the cow gets out on the road, he's going to have a major lawsuit on his hand. Plus, he's going to have criminal charges and so forth. So I think he's going to have to do something about it now, because once the cops are here and they're talking to him, that's pretty serious. So. Oh, thank you. God bless America. Really appreciate you subbing. Yeah, if anybody in here isn't subbed to the channel, go ahead and do that. Try to post at least a couple of times a week, and different types of content. Well, it's all music related content right now, but I did some photography stuff in the past. But I think moving forward on my channel, as far as Six String Brian, it's going to be mostly guitars and music and so forth of that nature. And if I want to do more photography and that type of thing, I might start up a new channel just for that purpose, instead of mixing both worlds. And so thanks for subbing, and appreciate it. Oh, it's just a cow on the loose. Yeah, right. It's crazy. I only hear, not that grass you smoke. No, the cows do like the grass. I'll tell you that much. That sounds like small town Canada right there. It certainly is, Ben. Thanks. I should have videotaped it, but I thought maybe the cop would get upset if I was filming. Right. I don't know. I didn't want to push my luck there. Not that I did anything wrong, but. God bless America has goats. Okay. I should get goats. I like goats, but apparently they're nice, but they can get violent. saw some videos online of this goat attacking this person the other day. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Let's see. I'm just reading the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, but the cows are really friendly. There's nothing wrong. And this was a pretty big cow, so wherever it got out of, it's got to be a pretty big hole in the fence or whatever, because it didn't get under the, like, it's all barbed wire fence or whatever, so it didn't get under that because it was way too big for that. It's just walking around, minding its own business, and then the cop tries to approach it and it starts running. And at one point, I thought it was going to run right into my truck that's parked out in my driveway, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Now I'm going to have to deal with an insurance claim and tell them a cow ran into my truck while it was parked in my driveway. There you go. Something, it would be one of those commercials when you see there the insurance guy, he says, you know, if it can happen, it will, or type of thing. I think it was, can't remember what, the mutual insurance or whatever. I could have one of those commercials and say, have a cow statue next to my truck and have it all banged up. Dale says, I grew up with cows across the creek that ran by our house. Yeah. Well, I think there's probably over 50 or 60 cows in that herd that next to my house anyway, but they're all cool. It's just, if they get on my property, then they're just running wild and they're just doing whatever they want. And if they get out in the road, you can have a major issue. I hit a cow with my car late one night in Utah when I was 17 years old. True story. That was Rick Hefner. Wow. Yeah, that would not be fun, because a cow is a pretty heavy animal, and you hit an animal of that size with your car, you're going to have some major issues. You know, I've seen some pretty devastating accidents as far as people who hit like moose and so forth. I can't imagine a cow would be quite similar. So yeah, be careful out there. I was on my motorcycle. Imagine me coming across my road here and coming up a hill or down, and then there's be a cow in the road. Imagine hitting something like that on a motorcycle. I think we wouldn't be having a discussion right now online if that was the case, because I'd probably be either in the hospital or at the coroner's office or the morgue or whatever, because yeah, that would be a rough one to recover from. They're funny as hell and they jump around. Yeah, they're great animals. I don't have any issues. It's just I don't want anybody to get hurt. Chick has a bunny. Wally has animals. GBA has goats. Dale has deer, and I have cows. Let's see. 3 days in the hospital, Rick Hefner, after you hit the cow. Wow. How was the R6? Bam, Ozzy said. I did go visit an R6 and an R9 and an R7 and a bunch of things this week while I was off. And more on that on Monday. Let's put it that way. But they were all great. And they were all really cool guitars, and they were quite interesting. I don't want to give away too much of what happened, or because I want to keep it for Monday night. Take care, Ben. Ben's got to run. Goat yoga. Yeah, I've seen people do goat yoga. What happens if a goat goes wild while you're doing yoga with it? That could be interesting. Get the kids. They're tiny, and keep your grass cut. Yeah. Yeah. I should. All right. Let's me go back up here. I'm just going to run down to the bottom here to make sure I didn't miss anybody. They walk on your back and stuff. Yeah, I know, right? I saw videos of goats walking on people's backs, and hey, maybe it feels okay. I don't know. Those fainting goats. Yeah, they're pretty funny. And the ones that do their sound when you play music or something and they're howling or they're doing this weird sound is kind of funny as well. Brad Miller. Let's see, we got anything else here that I need to be aware of? Even a badger can be incredibly dangerous, let alone a flipping cow. Yeah, right, Phil? Yeah, that's what we have to deal with over here in Canada is cows and moose and deer. And I hit a deer once with my truck. Just got the back of it. It was a smaller deer, and it ran out, and I hit the brakes, and it got pretty much across, and I just hit the back, and then it kind of fell a little bit and then got up and kept running. So I don't know, like I didn't see where it went or if it fell in the woods or something, but I think he was okay. Let's put it that way. But the truck had a dent in the front, just the front bumper or whatever, so I had to get that fixed. That was a few years back, but I got lucky on that one. I felt so bad. It was like I was more concerned about getting out of my truck, finding that deer, making sure that deer was okay than, you know, anything to do with me or my truck or anything of that nature, and then the whole day I kept thinking about it and thinking, so that's what happens if somebody hits an animal or something like that. Even like if I hit a rabbit it could be anything in the road. Like my dad at one point back when I was a kid, I remember he hit a dog. He was in the car and the dog ran out and hit the dog, and the dog was pretty much done. But man, that stayed with me for years. I could not get that out of my head, and it just, I don't know what it is with animals and me. I'm very, very much I think about it way too much, and it messes with me. All right, let me get down here, see what else is going on. Mitch Heyman, what's going on, Mitch? Nice to see you in here. I know Mitch has been doing a lot of work in the live streaming area, trying out a bunch of new software and some new solutions for folks that have been using the Google Hangout system. I haven't tried the StreamYard thing, but I haven't done a lot of things that have to do with doing interviews and so forth. I've been on other people's show that use that Google Hangouts and things of that nature, but I haven't done one myself. And the only reason I haven't is not because I don't want to or can't. It's just that my internet isn't the best. So I really have to test that system out and do like a test stream with somebody using StreamYards from my location here and see if my internet can handle, bringing in a guest and uploading it as a live stream without any issues. So I know when I did the Google Hangouts thing, when I was joining other people's shows, my picture was always very pixelated and stuff because my bandwidth, I guess, couldn't handle it. So I will do some testing on that in the future and see if there's anything I can do, because I would like to do some shows with people as far as doing even what Brian Stewart and Dave R do. That's pretty cool, having like a co-host type of deal. That you can do a lot more when you do that if you find the right person to do that with and you have good chemistry. It makes it very interesting, and you can a lot more dynamics to a show. So we'll see. That's something to think about in the future. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to each other, which is awesome. Where am I in this chat, man? Alex Radford, how's it going, brother? A lot of people jumping in, saying hi. All right. Poo ninjas in the house. I guess I should, hold on here. Let me do this. There we go, because I didn't have, I had Sandra Lee as a moderator, but since she changed her name, I hadn't done that. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, so back to guitars. The SG is the last guitar that I have in my collection that I am selling. And it's not for any particular reason other than I need to make room and for some other stuff that I want. And I need to pay some stuff that I had bought, like this R9 and some other things. So, and I don't play it as much as my other guitars. So it was like, well, I got to sacrifice something. But the thing is with all my guitars now that I have left other than the SG, I'll have a little bit thicker necks on them, like this 59 type of neck. And that's what I feel more comfortable with. The SG has a quite thinner neck on it, so I don't play it as much anyway. Not that I really like that guitar though. Like when I play it, I always enjoy it, but I think if I could find an SG sometime, down the road, that would have a thicker profile. And I did play a couple when I was in Nashville, like real vintage ones and so forth. I think it was a 1963 or 64 or something like that had a bigger neck profile. And I seem to gel with that a little bit more. So this one is a brand new 2018 model. So it's got a more of a 60s profile, even smaller than a 60s profile neck, I would say. So that's why. So the guy that's interested in buying it will be checking it out either tomorrow or Sunday, and if he likes it or whatever, he'll buy it, and that'll be it. And then my only other thing that I have left in my stuff to sell is the Universal Audio aux box, and I've got a couple of people interested in that. So I'm just kind of trying to work out a deal. A lot of the stuff when we're putting stuff online in our classified area here, as far as when we're selling gear, it's called Kijiji. It's like your Craigslist, I guess, if you're in the States. What happens is you put it up, and even though you say you want to sell it with no trades or anything, everybody's offering trades. It doesn't matter. Like if you put no trades, somebody, hey, I've got this guitar, or I've got this amp, or can you want to trade for this? And so I get a lot of that, and I'm not looking to trade for any of the stuff. I'm just looking to sell it because I need to, finance or pay some other stuff that I want or that I've already bought. So, but you got to deal with everybody. So I have to respond to all these folks that want to do trades. So that's how that goes. But anyway, after that's done, I think the only other thing moving forward, and probably before Christmas, that I will get is a 212, either that line 6 power cab 212. I have a cabinet right now, which is the Mesa 212, and it's either get a power amp and plug the Helix into that power amp and use that cabinet, or sell that cabinet and just get a power cab 212 and just use that with my Helix. And not that I would use the cabinet a lot in my studio here. I use my studio monitors or headphones and when I'm recording and so forth. So it's just something like it would be nice to have in the studio, just if you wanted to play and have an actual cabinet in the room type of thing. But it's not. I'm not in a rush for that. So that's why I'm kind of focused on getting the other stuff out of the way, and then decide what I want to do as far as a cab and amp type of thing. If I was playing live or playing with a band or whatever, obviously that would be more of a priority to get now. But that's not the case right now. And the funny thing, when I was on vacation, I had a couple of people in my area here in Ontario contact me to ask me if I would be interested in joining their band. And one of them was a classic rock band that plays a lot of gigs, and they needed a guitar player. And then another one was a tribute band to, I believe, it wasn't a tribute to one band. It was like ZZ Top and Bad Company and some stuff. They had like a name that they covered only those types of genres or whatever. So yeah, I've gotten a few of those offers come through, but I'm not looking to do that right now. I've got way too many things on my plate, so I haven't jumped on that. But down the road, I don't know. Maybe I want to do that. I wouldn't want to do what Guitar Hack is doing, like gigging on that frequent and those, just every weekend type of thing. If I was to join a band, like something that would just do the genre of stuff that I like to play and just maybe do, a couple of gigs a year or something like that, that would be fine with me. All right, let me see. Let's see. Just reading up the chat here, so check out Rockstock on Facebook. Yeah, I did check that out, Butterfly, and I think I posted the aux box on there. That's the only thing I posted on there. But yeah, definitely anybody else in here that's looking to sell gear and you want to sell it to like a closed community and stuff, which is what we're doing here. Rockstock, I believe, is the name of I think, yeah, there's the link in the chat. Just go there and you can post it on Facebook, the Facebook page, and then you don't have to deal with everybody out there trying to do this and that. It's like a closed community, and you might be able to sell your stuff a little faster into somebody that's, more trusted type of thing. So yeah, if the guy doesn't buy the SG, I will post the SG on that channel sometime next week. So, what time is it? It's 4:20. 4:27, I should say. It's not 4:20. It's 4:27. Is there something you do on 4:27? So let's do a last jam here, and then come back and say our goodbyes, or goodbyes. Not really goodbyes, just in for the day. Oh, jeez, sorry. Should shut the pickup so that doesn't make all that noise. Let me see. There is something here that I had in my... Where is it? Here it is. I don't know if it's going to work, though. If I go... Let's see. Can I download this? It's downloading. Oh, hold on. I'm just downloading my track here so that I don't have to stream it, because when you're live streaming it can cause an issue. Downloaded songs. Okay. All right. Let's see if this works. So that sounds okay. All right, hold on, folks. Let me see if this works, and then I'll come back and we'll finalize the chat and the stream, and that'll be it. All right, hold on.
1, 2, you know what to do. I
there you go. Little live jam. It's always fun, right? Don't mind my playing. I haven't played in, a couple of weeks. I played a little bit while I was away. I brought my, what I brought on vacation with me as far as a guitar, I brought my Telecaster, my SMEER Telecaster. And like I said, I bought that Helix Stomp while I was away to use as a kind of little rig. And I had my headphones. And so it gave me something to play. Didn't have a lot of chance to play anyway because I was always doing something or busy. But did find a few hours here and there to, jam and do some playing. All right, let's see. Let's finish this off here. All right, thanks. Butterfly posted a link to my Instagram, which is awesome. Thank you. I haven't posted an Instagram for a while, but I will be posting some stuff next week, so stay tuned. I got some stuff coming next week, and Monday night you'll want to tune in because there's something special happening on Monday. So Monday, 7 o'clock. And there we go. So yeah, that jam was, there's this album that's out that I really like. And I guess it's been out for a while. It's a couple of years anyway. It's a Buddy Guy album. It's called Rhythm and Blues. And I really enjoy some of the tracks on there. That track that I just played, it features, I guess Kid Rock does an appearance on it as far as a singer as well. So it has a bunch of artists that kind of appear on different songs like Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, and so forth with Buddy Guy. And yeah, I quite enjoy that album. It's fun to jam along to, and it's just blues and some rock and stuff. So it's always fun. Monday Madness. Yeah, it's gonna be Monday Madness for sure. But the R9's been doing great for me, and I still play it every day. So that's the key, I guess. It's find that guitar. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's a Gibson or a Fender or a PRS or Ibanez or EVH or what. It doesn't matter. As long as when you walk in the room and you see that guitar sitting there, it inspires you to pick it up and play. That's the bottom line. So get what works for you and what really inspires you to play. And this is what this guitar does. More than anything else, some people, why would you buy an R9? That's so expensive and this and that. You know what? It's what this guitar does for me as I walk into the room and look at it. It inspires me to pick it up every day. It makes me play more. It inspires me to write. It inspires me to create and create content with. So at the end of the day, it really has that impact on my life, and that's why I feel that it was way more than worth it. So let's end the stream with that little philosophy of life. Right? Oh God, I need another vacation, right? But anyway, thanks for jumping in, guys. It's been great to chat with you guys and get back into the swing of things here. Oh, look at Brian S. He gets in here just as I'm ready to call it. I guess we're gonna have to stay on another 5 minutes just because Brian S. decided to show up late. I don't know, buddy. Dudes and dudettes. That's it. For instance. Oh, hold on. I think I just got a text from Sandra, maybe. Let me just check what Sandra says here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to fix that. My link to the Instagram for some reason doesn't seem to work. Something in, yeah. All right, I'll check that out. No big deal. No biggie. Yeah, Brian S. Was just saying that I really like your new show with Dave R. So congrats on that, and keep up the great work, brother. Really enjoy it. And I hope you're liking your new Helix setup, because that's fairly new for you, because when we spoke at NAMM, you didn't have that setup, and you were kind of looking around at, when we were playing with it and stuff, and you were thinking about it. And then when we got back from NAM. It was maybe a week after you had gone ahead and sold all your stuff or picked up the Helix setup. So I'm happy for you, brother. I hope you're really enjoying it. I really enjoy the new Rev amp in there, so I'm really digging that, and I think you are as well. But it's what it's all about. Find the stuff that really inspires you to play and gets you up and playing and creating and having fun, and that's what it's all about, folks. Did I say we were done with the philosophy talk and all that stuff? Poo Ninja, yes, that is the Rev amp. It's a patch I made myself. It's not a patch that I downloaded or anything, but it's using the Rev amp as the main amplifier for my distorted sound. My clean part of this patch is using the JC120 amp and a different cabinet as well, which is nice with the IRs is you can make one IR, which is one block, and then when you switch to the clean amp, you can make it switch to a different cabinet in the IR, so you're not using up another block, and it's pretty cool that you can do that. So Brian S. is loving the Helix. He's still learning all the presets. Cool, man. Yeah, it's not that hard. Once you get into it and you start playing around with it, and you start out really simple, just don't put like tons of blocks and all kinds of stuff. That's where a lot of people get into trouble with that thing, is that there's so many things you can do with it that they throw everything at it, and then they can't get a good sound, or it's not exactly what they want, or they get confused. Something is not working well. Keep it bare simple when you start out. Put an amp and a cab and get a good sound just out of those two blocks. And then you start to feel what this thing can do. You start to add a few things when you need it. And that's the way to go with this stuff, I think. If you're going to get it and I know everybody's excited about getting a new thing and it can do tons of stuff and it has tons of features and you want to throw everything at it. But, that's, go ahead and play with that stuff. But when you're building a patch and just learning it and trying to get your tone, start out real simple and experiment with a few things maybe. But yeah, you'll get there. It's not that hard. It really isn't. If I can do that, and keep in mind, I wasn't playing any guitar or any instruments for many years, from 2007 until 2018, very much nothing. And then 2018, I got into this pretty much new. Let's get back in and see what's out on the market, what people are using, what kind of technologies are there. And I just discovered all this stuff. And I had to, either watch a lot of videos online and see how people were configuring these systems and what worked, what really didn't work. And then finally get one in and start to play with it myself and see what I'm comfortable with. And I've gone through different things since that. I've gone with the Helix. I still have the universal aux box. I had a Friedman tube amp. I've done the gamut, and I just settled on the Helix because it's the best thing for my workflow, and I seem to get along well with it as far as getting my sound. So, you find what works. Live lessons with Brian. Yeah, I don't think I'll be giving lessons. I can show you how to do a power chord in E. There you go. There you go. All right. With that said, let's call it a day, right? I gotta go make dinner and all that fun stuff. Have a great night, folks. Have a great weekend, and I will, like I said, back on a regular schedule on Monday. So Monday night at 7 o'clock, it'll be Monday Night Ramble. I'll have a lots to ramble on, and I've got something to show you, something new, and I'll go over some details I did go over some of the vacation details, but I'll go over a little bit more stuff then, and I'm sure we'll be looking at some news items if I can find. I've been out of the loop for a couple of weeks as far as music news, so I'll see what I can dig up for you. And other than that, I'm sure we're going to be seeing everybody on different shows during the weekend. I think Eric is going live tonight at 9 to talk about his new rebranding and some of the new stuff that's going to happen on his channel. So definitely tune into that. I believe it's at 9 Eastern on Eric. Well, it used to be EVH and Gear. Now it's called Music Gear Network, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, but Sandra will put that in there. And, yeah, have fun playing your guitars. And we will talk to you on Monday as far as my live show, and we will chat in the chats until then. So let me turn around and get access to my little control panel here to sign us out. Brian S. I'm just looking at your comment here. The Helix has so many great presets. It's going to take me a while to go through those. Oh, you'll do it, brother. You can do it. I have faith in you. All right, folks. I'm just going to run my outro, and then you're free to go enjoy your Friday evening. Thanks for jumping in, folks. All right.